Seconds.
Thank you, Lachlan Corla. And just as the Minister was leaving, I'd just like to welcome his announcement that the US Department of Agriculture has published a regulation that would allow for the re-importation of beef into the US. And the question really is just to ask the Minister when he expects that the export of beef could commence, and also what the actual veterinary requirements are that are being examined by the department at the moment, and what impact they will have on production.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. Number 6.
That the United States Department of Agriculture lifted the BAC rule on the 1st of November 2013. This ban on the importation of beef from the United Nations has been in place since 1997, and its ending was one of my priorities when I visited the US last year, where I pushed the matter strongly with the US Department of Agriculture Secretary of State Tom Vilsack and in meetings with senators. The publication of the new regulation is a critical step in assessing the US market, and my department has been preparing for the event for some time, with officials working to address specific veterinary requirements demanded by the US. Last week, one of my department's senior officials visited Washington and held high-level meetings with USDA officials with a view to advancing the various technical requirements to ensure the commencement of trade at the earliest possible date. It is important to stress that there are a number of stages to be complete before trade can commence. The first step is the completion by Ireland of a self-reporting tool, which is issued by USDA and FSIS, which is the Food Safety Authority. This document, which runs to over 150 pages, is a questionnaire for completion by the central competent authority, which is, in Ireland's case, is the Department of Agriculture. It is, in effect, the FSIS tool used for assessing equivalence from a foreign inspection system. These criteria reflect the current policy application of the US import regulations and cover government oversight, statutory authorities and food safety regulation, sanitisation, hazard analysis and critical control point system, chemical residue and microbiological testing programme. I am pleased to say that Ireland has now completed this stage of the operation. The document has been submitted to the US authorities. However, no product can be exported to the US until the USDA completes its analysis of the SRT and finalises the relevant certification arrangements for Ireland.
I have to interrupt the Minister. The rest of the reply will appear in the official report. Deputy Pringle, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Minister for his response, and it's good to see that the progress is continuing and moving along. I'll just ask the Minister maybe if the department has any estimates as to the potential value of the exportation of beef into the US market, what potential gain there would be for farmers and agribusiness in the state, if there's any figures on that. Thanks.
I think it can be quite good. We've no estimate the amount. I mean, the issue about Irish beef, I think Irish beef has got a unique brand, a unique flavour. The grass-based beef that we produce here is unique. Only last week, with SuperValue and in cooperation with Teagasc, I was in Grange, the Agricultural Institute, but they are doing a lot of work in relation to beef and consumer identification of beef. And I think all that work is going to come, will accumulate. When it's all accumulated, we will further see how special Irish beef is. And I think when the consumers all over the world realise that we have a very special product, I think we can increase our export. I think in Germany we've been going there now for a number of years, and that is a very good market. All over the European stage we can market a lot of our beef, and I think there's great potential, particularly in relation to Harvest 2020, the proposals that are in that. But recently, I think in the budget, the fact that we put a suckler scheme in place will encourage more farmers to get in to the beef business and produce better quality stock.